What up? This is Doc, and you're in Doc's laboratory. I got a special guest for y'all people tonight. It's one of my personal close boys. He's taking over the game right now, folks. Trust me on this. Keep your ears to the streets because you're going to remember this name for a while. My very close personal friend and world-renowned DJ, Fenza. All right. So, I know who you are. I introduced you, but for the folks at home,
Fenza, New York, New York.
So we know, so everybody knows where this interview's going. I'm gonna start off with this: top 10 greatest DJs of all time.
That's a good question.
Why?
Because most DJs, you see these videos of them, and you see more talking, you see less DJing, and when you do see that 2-minute clip on YouTube or wherever you may see it, it's more or less just a whole song. So nobody really has, you don't really know where people's backbones are going. But I would say my top 10 DJs, it's a few. I'm gonna have to break the 10 mark and make it like 12. But it goes from Sven Väth to Richie Hawtin. I think Richie Hawtin's number 1. Danny Tenaglia, Carl Cox, Bad Boy Bill, of course, the guy changed my life, and Danny Krivitz without a doubt. Hip Hop Boys, Funkmaster Flex, DJ Craze, Enough, Riz, Kid Capri. I know I'm missing one more in there. But yeah, around that, the whole thing is I don't want to say that I admire certain DJs now that are like my age because that's just kind of weird to me. I would rather say that, A-Track AM, the best of the best. When it comes down to the best DJ, the person that I would like to base my whole foundation from, it's more or less Oakenfold. I mean, I used to wake up to his picture in Wimbledon Stadium when he was going like this to the crowd. I don't know how many people it was, but it was breathtaking, that picture, and I said to myself, this guy is the rock and roller of DJing.
Of course.
Without a doubt.
How did you start DJing?
It was 5th grade. My friend, who's a very successful producer right now, had 2 turntables in his basement. How it all started was basically from there. It wasn't until like 4 years. There was a gap because I used to go to his house a lot, and then I got my own turntables like in 7th grade, and there was only one place to really get records from at the time. I didn't really have a car, so I got records. I ordered them from Beach Street, and it started in the basement basically from that point on. After my friend, because my friend stopped it, he got into sports, and it wasn't until like maybe 9th grade that things started to get pretty crazy for me. Like 10th grade, 9th grade, I was doing cool things with it. I was doing like little parties, but I was actually getting recognition for it. But basically, it wasn't until like 10th grade where I was really good. I had a lot of records where things just got crazy.
Now, I want to ask you a personal question because I remember that time frame, and it must have been about 8 years ago. Now, this was the night when you rocked Exit, and at the climax, when the crowd was moving and you couldn't think people couldn't party. No, I was there, folks. You couldn't think people couldn't party harder than this. And you reached into your crate and you put on the remix of the Benga Boys song, Up and Down. Describe that moment because the place got electrified.
I had plenty of moments in my other, experiences that I would say, were pretty crazy as well, that I know what you're talking about. That was more like, being at that moment, everyone talking about you, being in 10th grade and having like 6,000, I think Exit holded like 8,000 people, and the place was like completely jam-packed from head to toe. Being in that DJ booth, representing what you do, and, I have no ego when I do this. I look and treat everyone the same. But at the end of the day, when I was in that booth and I saw all those people go crazy, especially when that, when the build-up happens, this is what I like to do. I mean, I'm from New York. I'm a product of my environment. This team right here this is the reason why I do what I do, and I play to win, and that's just as simple as that. Seeing 8,000 people is nothing.
What's it like DJing in New York City?
You know what it really is? It's the heartbeat. It's that you sort of get I was thrown into the fire when I was in 10th grade. I had to compete with all these DJs now that are doing their thing, that are definitely, you know, they were much older than me. So I was this kid in 10th grade, and I was going against these DJs that were like 19, 20 years old coming up in the game. And it was pretty, I'm not going to lie, it was pretty competitive. DJing in New York, it's just all about the heartbeat. You have to feel that rhythm. You have to understand the element that you're coming from, because these people here, they're special. And yeah, everyone's equal in my book, but there's something about New York. There's something how, even if it's the dullest night in the city, it doesn't make a difference wherever you're standing in that room and whatever you're doing. You could still change the whole atmosphere. Only in New York. Other places, yeah. New York, yes. Without a doubt.
That's interesting. You got to explain to me one thing. You said you were a culinary school graduate. What school did you go to?
I went to the French Culinary Institute, which is downtown Soho.
Okay, downtown Soho. Kept it in New York. Now, you said at one point that, I don't mean to quote you, but you said the life of the chef and the DJ parallel. How is being a chef and a DJ the same thing?
Well, first and foremost, the culinary school I went to was extremely hard. It was very difficult. You know, certain people say, "Oh yeah, you know, it wasn't really that hard." I always knew the backbone of cooking from the environment I was raised in, but I never knew what exactly it took to make the perfect dish. And in that culinary school, you have a lot of competition. You're really basically thrown in the fire too. You're dealing with some of the biggest chefs in the world that are teaching you how to do the most extraordinary dishes in an artistical way. That you really, it's more like your imagination that you're using. And also at the same time, that's one part of being a chef. The other part is the technical, and that's, you know, dealing with pots and pans and noise and grasping all this heat at the same time, being under pressure. I think those parallel very well with being a DJ, because when you're in a DJ, you're in a room, you can't really leave unless you have to take a piss or whatever the case may be. And you're in that little room and you're creating something with the most simplest ingredients known. Yeah, the most simplest ingredients, and what you're doing is that you're using your imagination to cater to people. It sounds as easy as it looks, but my passion for food is that I was raised in a food atmosphere, let alone I went to a culinary school that, you know, again, it was very competitive. There was like celebrities asking you outside that lived in the Soho area what the school is like, and you know, you sort of like, you learned a lot. You learned how food plays a part with the imagination, and in that you could just, you know, I think it's simple. Music plays a part with the imagination too.
Now, are things different for you? What's different now that, you know, it wasn't like it since before you graduated?
Unfortunately, I saw a lot of things change. I took myself out of the game, but I was always DJing in my own basement, in my own comfort, you know, getting all the music, still cutting it up, making my own mixes for myself, giving them to my friends, and I kept it like that. I took a step back, and I saw what was happening, what was growing. And, you know, what I see now is that it was 1999 or 98 when I DJ'd at Sound Factory. And I remember this little machine came out, and it was a Pioneer effects box. And when it came out, everybody, I was one of those people that got it because I was astonished by the machine. But I think also at the same time, then so many people were getting wrecked for using the machine. Now, I mean, the computer programs that we have, the things that we have to remix these songs, the fact that a lot of these DJs don't even do the work that people think they're doing, that's how the game changed. And now what I see from a lot of DJs is that they're more worried about, you know, saying in a magazine, and it's nothing against Paris Hilton, she's a beautiful girl, and I admire how she, you know, she does her thing. I think people quote themselves, "Oh, I DJ'd for, you know, Miley Cyrus or Paris Hilton for one of their functions." Then they automatically think that they're the best DJ, and that's not making fun of them at all whatsoever. But you know, I mean, as you know, being from New York, you have to be competitive, and you know, certain DJs, they just think because they get all this equipment, they think they're good. That's great, but at the same time, you know, when you don't have a product to show for it, how can anyone take you seriously? And also, let me just say one thing: certain DJs thought it was cool, you know, to act and pretend that they're a celebrity. I just want everybody to hear that noise over there. To get the camera, hear that noise over there. That's New York for you, baby. You know what I'm saying? 2 o'clock in the fucking morning and you hear, you know, that does something to me. But certain DJs get into this state of mind like, oh, just because, you know, this celebrity or that celebrity, I'm a good DJ. No, that does not make you a good DJ. You know, what makes you a good DJ, if Kanye comes up to you and says, yo, I want you to be my DJ. That's what makes you a good DJ. Not all this stuff that you see in Us Weekly and this and that, because DJs, they take that clip, they put it on their Facebook, their MySpace, their website, and you have these people that say, oh my God, this one's doing